It is the coldest, driest, and windiest place on Earth. Antarctica, the frozen continent at the southern reaches of the globe. This formidable yet delicate environment is one of exceptional natural beauty. Today, we'll be following a number of scientists and students from New Zealand as they embark on a journey to the ice. The journey begins at Antarctica, New Zealand in Christchurch, where travellers are issued with Antarctic field clothing, including extreme cold weather gear or ECWs.
I've got a thermal top on here, then I've got another thermal tub of overalls.
Ooh, does this look funny?
Then they're off to the Antarctic passenger terminal to catch the next plane heading south.
Our destination is Mcmurdo, and the flying time is going to be 5 hours and 39 minutes.
US Air Force jets fly from Christchurch to Antarctica regularly throughout the Antarctic field season and cater for both the American and New Zealand Antarctic programs. These planes are certainly not built with passenger comfort in mind. The destination is Mcmurdo Sound in the Ross Sea region of Antarctica. After crossing the icy waters of the Southern Ocean, the spectacular transantarctic mountains appear before the plane finally lands on the sea ice runway at Mcmurdo Sound. The runway is a short drive to McMurdo Station, the large American base on Ross Island, which accommodates up to 1,200 people each summer. The Kiwis drive several kilometres further to the New Zealand station, Scots Base. The station has expanded greatly since the first buildings were constructed in 1957. Inside, Scots Base is warm and cosy, and even has its own bar. After settling in, the newcomers sit down to their first meal in Antarctica. Antarctic Field Training, or AFT, is compulsory for all visitors to Scots Base. Participants travel in the Hagland, a vehicle that can travel across sea ice less than a metre thick. Cracks in the sea ice are drilled to make sure that they are safe to cross. In the event that it does break through to the sea below, fortunately the Hagland can float.
So, do you guys remember what channel we were on?
AFT camp to Scots Base, go ahead, over.
Hi there, we want to organise a radio sked for tonight. What time's good for you? Over.
Good.
The students of Project K have arrived at the AFT campsite and are pitching their polar tents beneath the slopes of the active volcano, Mount Erebus. One of the first jobs is the preparation of drinking water.
Hello. It's melting some ice here. Apparently you let it boil first, and then once it's boiling you put another plunk in.
Looks like a cosy spot.
It certainly is.
Water is also needed for cooking dinner, which typically consists of a range of freeze-dried meals.
Beef teriyaki for me.
Classic beef curry.
And Thai chicken.
And dinner's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It was started by the previous AFT group. It's an impressive igloo. With a bit of luck, we may be able to close it off and spend the night in it. The sun's moving around us, but never going down.
Midnight. Yeah.
Antarctica. Wow.
My gloves are frozen, but I'm alright.
We're about to sleep in an igloo.
AFT is all about teaching awareness of the environment and how to recognise potential dangers.
We learnt that you had to stick together in pairs and cook together in pairs and fours. No one's allowed to go out on their own.
How to build emergency shelters in case our chopper blows up.
One of the most important vehicles in Antarctica is the Bell 212. These helicopters carry passengers and equipment to field sites around the Ross Sea region on a daily basis. A A scientific expedition from Victoria University has flown north to the Victoria Land coastal glaciers. Eventually, ice cores will be drilled here that will help reconstruct the region's climate over the past 10,000 years. This camp features a polar haven, a communal tent with plenty of room for sitting and cooking.
Does this mean where the peasants are hand making pizzas?
After several weeks of successful fieldwork, it's time for this group to head back to Scott Base. Meanwhile, further inland in the Mcmurdo dry valleys and the surrounding mountains, other scientists are studying exposed rocks and sediments, which provide valuable clues as to how Antarctica has responded to global climatic changes over the past 15 million years. By understanding its ancient past, these scientists will be able to make useful predictions about how Antarctica may be affected by global warming in the near future. They are working in an area characterized by ice-free valleys carved by ancient glaciers, frozen lakes and soils, and ephemeral streams that flow for only around 6 weeks each year.
Here is the snout of the Shatler Glacier coming down, and something that's completely out of place in Antarctica is the sound of running water.
The scientists have enlisted the help of a drilling company to collect samples of rock and frozen sediments in the form of short cores.
It's at least 10 pounds.
These precious cores are logged, subsampled, and packed up to be taken back to New Zealand for further analysis. Back at Scott Base, one of the great Antarctic traditions is underway.
Okay. So what's going on?
Right, so the polar plunge.
Whoa! That's good.
This is not good.
You got me red in the face.
This is a monument that was erected for Scott in 1913 because he died on his return voyage from the South Pole in 1912.
Over there is a Scots Burst Hut. It's a prefabricated Australian design, so if you go to Australia it looks like quite a lot of the old school Australian pubs.
These historic huts are an important part of Antarctica's human history.
Just drive by helicopter to the Terranova Hut at Cape Evans. It's amazing.
It's a historic hut that Scott didn't make it back to on his last voyage.
They are the only remains of the heroic age of Antarctic exploration.
So this is Nimrod Hut, Shackleton's Nimrod Hut from the Nimrod expedition. Quite incredible.
Outside Shackleton's hut, there is a large colony of Adelie penguins. These are smaller and less colourful than their more recognisable cousins, the emperor penguins. The wildlife of the Ross Sea coastline also includes various types of seal and a seabird called the Antarctic skua. A snowstorm has delayed the flight back to New Zealand, but everyone keeps busy with leisure and social activities and by helping out with chores around Scott Base. Finally, it is time to fly home, but the memories of this journey to the ice will last forever.
I kind of didn't know what to expect going down there. Like, you see the photos and you can see the vastness of the place, but I don't think you can comprehend it until you see it.
And there was just ice everywhere. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking.
Yeah, I'm really amped. I just want to get out there and talk to all the kids and tell them what I learned. I honestly learned so much.
The White Continent has fascinated mankind for well over 100 years, and still draws people from all around the world to unlock its many frozen secrets. It is important, however, that we continue to treat this delicate environment with the care and respect it deserves. As the sun sets on another Antarctic summer, scientists and students back in New Zealand continue their work that was started on the ice. Research that has implications not only for the future of Antarctica, but for the future of our planet as a whole.